Are Trump's China tariffs making China great again?
Behold the mighty of Chinese infrastructure. It's
You
tremendous.
really can't scroll through the news these days without hitting a headline about U.S.-China trade, right? Especially with that proposed 145% tariff from the Trump administration. That number alone makes you stop. It's huge. But what does it actually mean? Why a 145% tariff? The Trump administration's goal? Apply significant economic pressure on China, reduce the U.S. trade deficit, revitalize American manufacturing, protect U.S. jobs and industries from unfair Chinese practices. Sounds like a straightforward plan until you dig deeper. The U.S.-China economic ties. Here's the challenge. America relies heavily on China, especially for electronics. 20% of all U.S. imports from China equals electronics. China assembles 90% of smartphones and 81% of laptops. So if you slap a 145% tariff on, say, an iPhone 16 Pro Max, $1,200, that price jumps to over $2,100. Ouch. Public reaction and strategic confusion. Naturally, the public wasn't thrilled. Disapproval of Trump's economic handling rose to 56%. Many feared inflation and rising everyday costs. To calm the storm, exemptions were made. Electronics like iPhones avoided the harshest tariffs. But the reasoning was vague, citing obvious reasons or a 10% floor. The mixed messaging raised questions. Was there a clear strategy? Impact on American businesses. U.S. businesses, especially small and medium-sized, felt the pain. Abandoned shipments and canceled orders. Furniture, toys, clothing. The uncertainty hit hard. Economist Erica York warned that a 145% tariff could halt U.S.-China trade entirely. The problem with reshoring. You'd think the solution is to bring manufacturing back home, right? Not quite. 74% of companies say cost is the main barrier. 61% prefer shifting to other low-tariff countries instead. So instead of made in America, we're seeing made elsewhere in Asia. Wider economic risks. Big concerns emerged. Rising inflation, market volatility, predictions of a U.S. recession in 2025. Even billionaire Ray Dalio warned of a deeper issue, a possible breakdown of the global order with rising powers challenging the post-World War II system. China's strategic response. China didn't sit still. They imposed 125% retaliatory tariffs, risked up to 20 million export-related job losses, yet projected 4% GDP growth for 2025. Their strategy, stimulate domestic consumption, find new trade partners, especially in Southeast Asia. Xi Jinping visited Vietnam, Malaysia, Cambodia. Signed up to 40 agreements with Vietnam. China is diversifying and building economic bridges elsewhere. So, who's winning? Here's the twist. U.S. tariffs may actually encourage global diversification, weakening American influence. China, while hurt, could become more resilient, more self-reliant, and better connected globally. The original goals, revive U.S. manufacturing, pressure China, aren't materializing as planned. Conclusion, rethinking trade tools. So did the tariffs work? Short answer, not as intended. Higher costs for U.S. consumers, strategic adaptation by China, a more complicated global trade landscape, which raises a larger question. In a deeply interconnected world, are unilateral trade tools like massive tariffs still effective? Maybe it's time to move beyond reactionary measures and towards smarter, cooperative global strategies.